The Final Reich, the best map ever made. At least, in my opinion, that is, but I know a lot of people tend to get upset about other people's opinions. But here we are. The Final Reich is by far the greatest map ever made, and let me give you a couple reasons why. Now, first off, we have our very beautiful aesthetic map. The snow, the buildings, the Aurora Borealis, the Zeppelin, when that occasionally comes in, it's gorgeous. There's so many beautiful things about this map. Then you have the horror. We have not had zombies horror for a long time in Call of Duty. Since probably Verrückt, really. And when you go into the bunker, you have all these desolate, decrepit science lab type areas that are very creepy and eerie, very visceral and gross. It's a very good aesthetic for any kind of zombies map. Now, the best part about this map is probably the Easter egg, because there's two of them, two main quest Easter eggs. You have the casual Easter egg, which can be completed by following the instructions that the game gives you. Then you have the hardcore Easter egg, which has to be completed in tandem with the casual Easter egg, but actually requires you to go out and look for your objectives. Now, when it comes to the Easter eggs, I feel like the casual Easter egg is more fun, just because you don't have to deal with stuff like Morse code and annoying Easter egg steps that just seem too difficult to complete at certain intervals of the game. A good example of that would be the record player step, where you have to sit inside the pub and get kills with the red talon to advance to the next step. That one, you pretty much have to wait for a pest round, because otherwise you are not going to be able to do much due to the fact that it takes 2 hits to kill zombies rather than the 1 that it takes pests. And some of the upgrade steps for the Tesla gun aren't exactly great, and by some of them I really just mean the one where you have to kill the bombers with the blade traps inside of the pack-a-punch area. All the other ones are fine, they're fairly easy to do and can be done fairly early, but that one is annoying because you have to wait for 2 bombers, you have to make sure you don't have them blow up on you by accident, and then you have to kill them with the blade trap close enough to the Uberschnall that it actually charges the damn thing. And then on top of all of that, you have the gunplay. The gunplay is amazing. It's really fun, especially with how the zombies act, because the zombies can either dodge your attacks rather, or just simply get stunned by them, so it's easier to go around them. And of course you have your wonder weapons, the red talon and the Tesla gun variants. Now, of course, you got your primary Tesla gun, which you unlock through doing the casual Easter egg steps, which is a very solid weapon on its own. It lasts you quite a while and has the most ammo out of any of the Tesla gun variants. But then you have the upgrades for it, which are undoubtedly more powerful. So you have, my favorite one is the Reaper, I think it's called. That's the yellow one. When it shoots a zombie, or when you shoot it, it explodes in a blast radius and will leave one zombie alive, which will then go seek out more zombies to blow up again. Then you have the Hurricane, which shoots out a purple ball of lightning, which will kill any zombie that's near it, which is probably the worst of the 4, but is still a really solid weapon. It just doesn't kill big groups as easily as, the Reaper would. Then you have the Midnight, which is probably realistically my personal favorite, just because it can shoot through large hordes of zombies. Now, the Reaper is definitely more powerful, I'll say. The Midnight's just a lot cooler to look at, honestly. And then you have the Bloodthirst, I think is what the red one is called, which will do basically the same thing as the Reaper, but a less powerful version, really. So it doesn't kill any of the zombies that it initially hits immediately. You have to give it a few seconds, and then every single zombie that it hit will proceed to explode in a similar blast radius to what the weapon originally shot. So still very solid. It's just not good if you're like trapped in an area and need an instant solution. Overall, I think all these weapons are amazing and deserve high praise. And then of course you have your Red Talon, which is a sword. It's not as good as other melee weapons that we've gotten in previous zombies games, but I mean, it's a guaranteed 2-shot on any round to zombies, unless of course you have insta-kill, and then 1-shot to pests, and I believe it's 4-shot to Wooslings. And then of course it has its upgrade after you kill a few zombies, which shoots a little blast radius like disc out of it, which can insta-kill any zombie except for a Woosling. On top of all this, you have the boss fight, which is my favorite part of the Easter egg, which is the Panzer Mortar. The Panzer Mortar is just this grotesque abomination, and it's so fun to kill, and it's just a really cool design for a boss, I think. Plus you have the ability to stun it if it's getting a little too hectic, you know, stomping on you, all that fun stuff. And so it's not really difficult to deal with. It's just a cool design, a very nice boss fight, very smooth flowing. And then in the boss fight you also get to fight Richter, the Zeppelin asshole. He's not too bad, but he can be annoying. But I think he adds to the fight more than takes from it, so I can't complain about him at all. Now overall, there's not really much I can complain about this map, other than the lack of weapon choice. A large amount of the weapons seem so identical that it doesn't really feel like there's much of a choice in what you can use for weapons, such as the bacon and eggs, which are the 1911 upgraded. They're just really the only weapon you should use because of how powerful they are. I don't know anybody who would choose to use any of the SMGs or assault rifles on the map over just the starting pistol and then upgrading the starting pistol, because it doesn't damage you when you shoot it and it obliterates the boss, so there's really no reason to not use it. But some of them, well, some of the weapons can be pretty good. Some of the shotguns I've noticed are alright, whereas others are just really stinky. So again, it's always up to your own personal choice. It's just a lot of the weapons just seem far too similar for me to want to use them over just sticking with the starter weapons and the wonder weapons. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about this map. If you want me to go more in depth on detail for the COD World War II maps, or just the Final Reich in general, or any other map that you really like to hear about, let me know in the comments, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. That's about it. See ya.